Hello, my name is David Compton, and I'm here to give you some information to provide you some, perspective or idea about the real estate profession. I have been involved in real estate in a variety of ways for over 46 years now. I began my career in the summer of 1973. And I have been involved in real estate as what you might have heard as a real estate agent or broker. I have been a manager of a real estate brokerage. I have been involved in commercial real estate in the areas of brokerage and in the areas of site selection, where I would assist. I worked for a retail operation looking for locations for their retail stores. But for the last 35 years, I've been what is known as a real estate educator. What I do is I provide educational programs for real estate agents that engage a lot of topics, at anywhere from how to succeed in real estate, what skills does an agent need to be successful in this business, to areas of compliance, areas where agents are required to comply with certain standards that are imposed by regulatory authorities as well as associations. And they include such areas as real estate ethics, real estate agency, which we'll be talking about. Also, maybe how to write a contract and what to include in an agreement, and perhaps how to counsel with a buyer or a seller about how, when they enter into an agreement, what are some things that they need to be aware of before they go ahead and sign the agreement. So real estate has evolved over the last 130 years here in America. And it began kind of as, for lack of a better way of putting it, a rather sleazy profession, because what would happen is that these real estate investors or speculators would acquire property, and often from people who were that were vulnerable, that maybe had financial issues, that maybe had other issues, and they would take advantage of their vulnerability and acquire their farms or their homes for prices that were less than what we would call today market value. And they would acquire these properties, again, at lower than market value prices, and they would actually literally stand on street corners and show properties they would have available to other people out there who may be just walking around. That's literally how real estate began. And there were unscrupulous operators. So over time, there was a realization of a need to, if you will, regulate these hucksters or salespeople who are trying to sell properties. So as the years passed, by the way, when they would show properties, they would list them. And that's how the word listing became known. A listing is when a seller enlists the help of an agent to sell their property or to market it. And that's the word where the listing came from. But certainly there are real estate agents too that assist buyers in finding property that they're looking for. And most real estate agents here in America do both. They list properties and market them for sellers. They also assist buyers in finding properties that are suitable for them. But as time evolved, there was also apparent the need to regulate, again, these providers of these services. And you have everything from the different states in America imposing standards, statutes, regulations that real estate licensees had to comply with, and licensing. Now, that another term, again, that you may not be familiar with, but the permission to allow a person to operate as a real estate agent. It's called a real estate license. And there are licensing authorities in every single U.S. state that requires agents to do certain things to comply. But also there's an area called the Code of Ethics, okay, that is, again, to be a member of an organization called the National Association of Realtors, which, by the way, does have presence in other nations besides America. There is a code of ethics that agents must comply with, and it outlines the aspirational aspects of real estate, but it also identifies the duties to the customers and to the clients, the duties to the public, okay, the real estate, the consumer public, and also the duties to other members of the Realtor Association. This is one of the topics that we address very heavily in our program to talk about. Okay, what must, if you want to be a real estate agent, what must you do to be in compliance with these standards? And they are designed to help the agent rise to a level of what we call professionalism, to provide quality services to the consumer and do it in a way that is meeting what they call a standard of care. And that's really the focus of the program in the Code of Ethics. The real estate, there are many aspects of real estate that you may want to think about. I mean, and I've identified the first one, which is considered real estate brokerage. Again, helping buyers and sellers market their properties and find properties to buy. But there are other aspects of real estate that also, there are other areas of real estate where we do have people called practitioners that provide services that are integral to the real estate transaction. We have people who are engaged in the process of closing transactions. There you'll see different terms for that. Like for instance, maybe you've heard the term escrow. And escrow is simply a third party that essentially coordinates a transaction to the final consummation where they close it. And that's the escrow, we call that escrow, E-S-C-R-O-W. There's also, a buyer cannot buy a property without money. They have to have money. Many of them don't have all the funds that they would need to acquire property, so they often seek the assistance of getting a loan to buy the property. And we have people called lenders who are again in the business of providing again these services to the real estate buyer to provide them the financing, the loan that they will need to acquire the property. Certainly they have to put some money down, but often it expands their ability to buy property because they can pay a higher price because of that loan. We have people that assist lenders in doing what they need to do. There's another area called real estate appraisal, where properties are valued, where somebody will go out and actually estimate the value of a property. There are others, there's insurance on property. There's what we call a home warranty, where you may have somebody who may offer, it's like an insurance policy that if something happens to in the home, that will be covered, that they'll have the insurance to cover that. So I could go on describing the myriad of services that are integral to real estate transactions. But these are other areas that one may be able to explore, and the one I explored was real estate education. And again, I provide seminars on a regular basis in business development, real estate skills, and also in compliance areas. And I've been doing this, like I said, for going on 35 years now. I really have enjoyed the privilege of being a real estate educator. I do deliver a number of seminars in a number of areas, and it is becoming more sophisticated, including delivering these programs on an online format on the internet. We also have do it where we provide distance learning, where I may be providing a seminar that may be telecast to other areas. We are looking to provide these seminars, and I have been providing seminars in California and Arizona, the U.S. states of Arizona and California, for a number of years. I have provided them some in other states as well, but we are now looking to bring these seminars to the African continent, into Kenya and other African nations, and we are very excited about the prospect of doing that. So we're looking to invite you to become, again, educated on the real estate profession, which is going to become a highly evolving profession there in Africa. And so we welcome you. We look forward to having you as a part of our audience, and we certainly look forward to interacting with you in the future. So again, welcome to our educational program. Thank you.